What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of BWill's Take. We got big news today. CARTHON has traded for JARIUS SNEED. I said that right, JARIUS SNEED. Best corner in the NFL last year. One of the best corners in the last couple of years for the Chiefs. Now he's a Tennessee Titan. Let's get it. What a day, man. Tennessee Titans have made another outstanding move, found a way to get JARIUS SNEED from the Chiefs for a bag of chips from Brett Veach. CARTHON's been cooking this year, man. We found a way to get JARIUS SNEED, the standout corner from the Kansas City Chiefs, for a swap of sevens for this year and then next year's third-round pick. Basically a bag of chips for who many claim to be is one of the best corners in the NFL over the past couple years and really last year. He has a big role for the Chiefs in Spagnuolo's defense. He follows around the number one receivers all year long. He's guarded guys like Calvin Ridley, who's a Tennessee Titan now, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, whoever another team's number one is, he's following them around the field in that scheme for Spagnuolo, and he was very successful. Sneed's only allowed a 55.9 passer rating, 51.9 reception rate allowed. He's got 10 PBUs over this past year, and over the whole course of the year, he's only given up 25 yards per game, and this is going against number ones from other teams. Just an exceptional player, exceptional piece that CARTHON is adding to this defense for Denard Wilson to cook with, man. I'm not sure exactly how Wilson will use him. He can either use him one of two ways because Sneed's very good in the slot as well. I don't think he'll be primarily in the slot, but he's a very good slot corner, slot DB coming off the edge, blitzing. One of the best blitzing DBs in the league. Very good in the run game. That's something the Titans fans will love to see. He's a physical corner. He's a thumper. He's coming downhill thumping. About to say MFers. He's thumping them. I'm getting excited already just thinking about it. But I'm not exactly sure how Wilson will use him. He can use him as a Swiss Army knife where he's just doing everything on the field, just a playmaker, or he can use him to shadow number ones from other teams. Personally, I'd rather him use him in that manner of just shadowing number ones and sort of eliminating number one receivers because we really ain't even got that many number one receivers in this division. I ain't going to lie. They're all mid to me. Pittman, he's all right. Mid, all right. We got down there in Jacksonville. They got Gabe Davis. They got Zay Jones. Really not an outstanding number one. And Houston, they've got Nico Collins, who I'm very high on, but they also have Tank Dell. I want Sneed just eliminating that number one and just really taking care of a whole read from the quarterback and simplifying things for our defense to where a number two can be on a true number two and we don't have to switch guys around or other offensive coordinators can't dictate matchups. We're dictating the matchup to them when we have a guy like JARIUS SNEED that's eliminating their number one receiver. That's a big weapon to have defensively, game plan-wise, but also in-game wise when you're just dictating the game to offensive coordinators. That's the attacking mindset that Wilson talked about in his press conference in the very first day. So a guy like Sneed will really help him do that. And you're adding Sneed to a DB room that's already much improved from last year. Chido Awuzie from the Bengals, one of the best number two corners in the league that we'll have. We also got Roger McCreary. He didn't give up a touchdown all year last year, and that's moving around. We had him in the slot. We had him outside. He'll be able to be specifically in the slot, and that's where he thrives, in my opinion. One of the better slot corners in the league on his day, and he's young. He's going to be able to mentor from a guy like JARIUS SNEED, from Chido Awuzie. Both of them have been successful, very successful in the league in the slot. So I'm excited for not only what JARIUS SNEED brings to the Titans himself, but also what he brings to the other DBs in the room like Chido, like McCreary, and even some of those safeties. He can pass along some game to them. But another thing, you talk about iron sharpening iron. I posted a clip on Twitter, Calvin Ridley versus JARIUS SNEED week 2 last year, and they were just going at it. Two dogs in the game, just going at it. We're going to see that every day in training camp this summer. Mini camp, training camp, whatever the hell you want to call it. Every day, them guys are going to be competing, just making each other better. Him on Hopkins, him on Ridley, even a guy like Burks or whoever we draft as a rookie receiver. Having DBs like Sneed, like Awuzie, just competing in training camp is exceptional, and that just improves. And it'll improve those young guys and show them, like, this is a standard that you have to be at. This is what you have to beat week in, week out in the NFL to be a great receiver in this league. And we haven't really had that on both sides of the ball where both sides of the ball are truly challenging each other. We had, in the past, we had a good defense, decent offense, but we didn't have perimeter guys that are really, truly challenging each other in that DB room, in that receiver room, and that's only going to make them much better. That's only going to make a guy like Will Levis much better. I mean, so it's a great, great move for CARTHON. I'm very excited, man, and honestly, like I said in my last edition of BWill's Take, if we get a guy like SNEED, I'm going to repeat it. If we get a guy like SNEED, Titans fans can say, hey, we're competing in this division. This is our division to win with some chest, So I still have that expectation for the Titans. The expectation period was for them to compete in the division, but I'm looking at them like we should be winning this division. This isn't even what we like. This SNEED's trade also changes what we do in the draft. It doesn't change my expectations. We should be competing in the division. When we have a guy like SNEED and we don't have to look at going DB early in the second round, that changes things completely. In my opinion, I still want us to go receiver in the first round and try and get a tackle in the second round, whether that's a guy like Jordan Morgan, maybe from Arizona, Sua Matia, I can't even pronounce his name, from Yale, but I think he's some kin to Puka Nacua. He's Samoan, big Samoan dude. We need one of them. Need him playing left tackle, or we can trade back for a left tackle like Olu or J.C. Latham. That's what I would want us to do. One of those two scenarios, stick and pick a receiver like Neighbors or even a Dunze or, dare I say it, Marvin Harrison Jr. Possible. Stick there and get one of them guys, or trade back and get one of them tackles. I'm not too high on Alt at number 7. I don't think that's the best value you can get. I think you can get much better value with one of those tackles that are after Alt, because I think they're the same tier, honestly. One of the tackles after Alt, like Olu Fashanu, J.C. Latham. I'm really not high on Fuaga like that as a tackle. I think he'd be an exceptional guard, but also the cat from Washington, Fautanu. He's pretty decent too at left tackle. So we've got our options, and we're not pigeonholed into taking one person where teams are going to know what need we have. Also helps us if Moran wants to trade back, like I said. So completely changes the dynamic of the draft, a trade like SNEED does, but it also changes expectations for Titans fans that were a little pessimistic. I'm normally a pessimistic Titans fan, but even now, man, I'm getting excited for this season. I can't wait for this offseason to see how they compete in camp, see what we do in the draft, and really round out this team. Right now, real quick, this will be last little bit. Holes that the Titans still have defensively. We've still got a hole at inside linebacker. It's not as gaping as a hole for me as it is to others. It's a linebacker spot. We can fill in with a guy, that's in free agency. It doesn't have to be an exceptional talent. It's a linebacker at the end of the day. I'd rather us get a greater talent at safety, a guy like Justin Simmons from Denver. That's who I want from safety. I want Hooker gone too, don't get me wrong. I want Simmons in there, and I'd really like to sign another safety or draft one like Kinchins from Miami. Even if we don't get rid of Hooker, we still need a guy like Justin Simmons or May from New Orleans. Apparently, Denard Wilson is very high on Marcus May. So one of those two guys, preferably Simmons, will really round out this secondary and really turn a weakness into a strength in a matter of a month. You talk about Rand Carthon, that's a hell of a job by him. Offense, in my opinion, we still got a hole at the tackle spots. Left tackle specifically. Right tackle, not so much. We can throw Radens or MPF there, and whoever the latter is can compete at right guard. Also, receiver, I think we still have a hole there. Can't really let Hopkins and Ridley impact your draft plans because they're both closer to 30. Well, Ridley is closer to 30. Hopkins is over 30. So I'd still like to get a dominant receiver in while we're picking at 7, because the way this team is built, we shouldn't be picking that high in the next couple years. So while you're picking that high, get you a receiver like that that'll cost a premium, a guy that has potential to be an all-pro receiver. It's going to be much harder to get that in these latter years that we have coming up. I'd rather get that now and then find a left tackle in the second round and let Bill Callahan work his magic. We got a guy like Bill Callahan. Trust him. Let's get the great talent at receiver, and let's see what we can do with that with a three-headed monster with Ridley, Hopkins, and that third receiver. Will be exceptional for Will Levis, and it will take away all his excuses. So great job by Carthon. Excited to see what he goes forward. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. What side of the ball has improved the most between the defense and the offense? Right now, I'd have to say the defense has. Even though we got a hole in the interior D-line and the linebacker, that defense was not good, man. Specifically, that secondary was not good. I know the Ridley trade looks good, or the Ridley signing looks good, but SNEED completely changes the dynamic of this defense along with the Awuzie. That secondary is going to be dominant, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to put my balls on the line and say they're going to be dominant this year. Very good. Unless we don't have a good pass rush, then that can be issues. But the way Wilson should be scheming things up, he's going to be a guy that brings a lot of pressure, plays man on the backside. We've got the corners to do that. All three of them can do it. Hooker can't do that shit, but all three corners can do it. And as long as we get there home enough and the quarterback ain't staring down Hooker, we ought to be all right. Y'all let me know in the comments which side of the ball y'all think improved the most. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all check out. I talked about, and this is the absolute last thing I'll say. I talked about this on the Glory Day Sports channel for the Glory Day Sports Show. Morning show we do on Thursdays on that channel. Great job by Jake Robertson. Got Esports Valen on there as well. Make sure y'all check that channel out. I'll put the link in the description. But one big concern I had before the SNEED trade, who is going to be on these banners? And it might sound trivial, but it's really it's an organizational thing. It's me thinking as an organization, me trying to put myself in Amy's shoes, selling tickets. Who is going to be on the banners of this stadium and the new stadium coming up? We didn't really have a clear answer for that for at least one of the guys before we got this JARIUS SNEED trade to come in yesterday. We finally get a great DB, a great player, league-renowned player, two-time Super Bowl champion in JARIUS SNEED that is a shoo-in to go on one of those banners outside the stadium, man. That's important for not only, I'd say fanatics like a lot of you guys that are watching, myself, but also the casual fans that don't watch every Sunday that are going to the game. They've seen JARIUS SNEED make a great play in the AFC Championship game, punching the ball out of the hands of Zay Flowers. This guy is a big-time player, and he's going to attract people in the stadium. That defense, if it's as dynamic as it can be and they're forcing turnovers like that, people are going to want to come to watch, and that's what you get when you trade for a guy like JARIUS SNEED. Great job. Great offseason so far by Rand Carthon, man. It's getting up there. The defense, what he's done to that defense is a B+ for me. The offense is already a B+. It's everything but an A. All I need is the icing on the cake. Let's get a left tackle. Let's get a dynamic receiver in the draft, and it's an A offseason for me for Rand Carthon. Y'all let me know what y'all think the grade is for the offseason for Rand Carthon so far. Let me know who y'all think he's improved the most, either the offense or the defensive side of the ball. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to the video. That's the best way to support the channel, man. Share the TikToks at tftvsports. We're on all socials at tftvsports. Instagram Reels, TikToks, Facebook Reels, Twitter videos at BWill TFTV and tftvsports. Appreciate y'all, man. BWill TFTV, make sure y'all like the video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to give you a button right here or right here. One of the two. Make sure y'all subscribe.